Every major shift in my life has come from one conversation. Not networking events, not LinkedIn, not handing out business cards at some mixer where everyone's just pretending to care about each other. I'm talking about real relationships. You know that dog sitting gig that I'm doing right now, that I've mentioned in my previous videos? One text from a mate. The site surveys keeping me afloat at the moment. One conversation with a friend that I hadn't seen in 10 years. And the trading opportunity that I'm starting hopefully next month or the month after that, that could potentially change my life forever. One conversation at a Chinese restaurant after a business event. See, if you think networking is about meeting 50 people and collecting all these contacts, you're doing it wrong. You see, I've been to these events, all these meet and greets, networking events, and man, everyone's dressed up. Everyone's got their elevator pitch ready. Everyone's trying to impress people that they don't even know. And it's just all surface level stuff. You know, you can feel it. The energy's off. You know, people aren't there to connect. They're just there to see what they can get from you. Oh, you know, what do you do? Oh, cool. Here's my card. Let's connect on LinkedIn. And then nothing. Just radio silence. Because it wasn't real. It was transactional. But see, real relationships, they don't happen at networking events. They happen at a house party for some network marketing thing 10, 15 years ago. They happen when you bump into someone in Mexico and you had no idea they were even there. They happen after a business workshop when you compliment a guy's shoes or watch at a Chinese restaurant. That's how it actually works. So the three conversations that put me where I am right now, this isn't theory. This is my actual life right now. First, you've got Kyle, the dog sitting gig that I've mentioned before. So Kyle's been my mate for well over a decade. We met back in 2013, 2014 through network marketing in Your Health. Little house party event. You know, we stayed close, real friendship. Not transactional, just genuine mates, brothers. And January this year, literally this month, he texts me, oh, you know, would you be keen to dog sit? You know, I need someone to look after Braxton once a week on, say, Wednesdays, $70 a day. Let me know. And, you know, my first thought, this is beneath me. You know, I've graduated high school. I've done corporate strategy. I've done sales. This is, I don't know, man. This just feels small. That's ego talking. That's pride. And then I stopped and, you know, I prayed. I'd been asking God for income, for work, for direction. And he gave it to me on a silver platter. $70 a day to look after a dog. And I could still film content while I'm there, still edit, still line up some more work. You see, it's not about the money, it's about stewardship. Proving to God and to myself that I'm worthy of opportunities that he provides. So you know what I did? I said yes. And you know what happened? Within 2 weeks, site survey work showed up. Because God doesn't bless your comfort, he blesses your obedience. And then you got Stephen, the site survey gig. All right. Now, Stephen and I used to work together over, a decade ago. Call center, selling online education, online courses, cold call outreach, fucking 200 calls a day, the whole grind. And look, we lost touch for literally 10 years, zero contact. And then I went to Mexico for my 30th birthday. Ended up staying in Playa del Carmen as the main hub. And, you know, we bumped into each other there at some random cafe, at random, in another country. Turns out he's been living the life that I wanted to live. Self-employed, got his own business, online, dating coach, just living life in his own terms. So we stayed connected after that, right? He moved to Queensland, started his own fire evacuation diagram company, and he sees the content I've been making, and he hits me up. You know, if you need work, bro, let me know. Lo and behold, he's got on-the-road work for me. Site surveys, diagram installations, all that stuff. You know, I started last Thursday. That was my first shift. You know, 4-hour job. got paid well. I'm grateful. I was thrown in the deep end with zero training, but I trusted God to guide my steps, and it worked out. Now I've got a full day this Thursday. I've got another job Friday, and the ball's just rolling now. Momentum's building. And that's one conversation from 10 years ago that came back around full circle. Not because I networked, but because we were just genuine mates. And then you've got Mick, the trading opportunity that's lined up, hopefully in the next month or so. Now, this one's the breakthrough. Now, me and my brother, we went to Adrian Portelli and Troy Candy's business workshop in Port Melbourne about a little bit over a year ago now. And after the event, we went to eat at this Chinese restaurant, China Bar in Melbourne, for the ones who know. And we were ordering our food, and this guy walks in. He's got a nice Rolex, nice watch, got the LV shoes on, and you know what? I complimented him. I was like, nice watch, nice shoes, bro. And we started talking. Turns out he was at the event also. And then we ended up connecting on Instagram. Now, I had no idea who he was, no idea what he did. He just seemed like a good dude. We stayed connected, and he's been watching my content as well. He's been following my journey. Turns out we're on the same page. Same outlook on life. He's Christian as well. And little did I know, he's running a hedge fund. And December in 2025, just last month, holiday season, we hop on a Zoom call. He says, "Hey bro, I've got a position for you. Do some training. I'll show you the ropes, and we'll get you started." And that's starting next month, maybe late February, early March, God willing. And that's the breakthrough. That's what takes me from surviving to finally thriving. And it all came from one conversation at a Chinese restaurant. Not from pitching myself, not from trying to impress him and do the whole song and dance, but just by being a good dude, being genuine, being myself. So yeah, real relationships aren't built at networking events. They're built in the margins, at a house party, in a random country, after a workshop, at a restaurant. And they don't happen because you're trying to extract value. They happen because you're genuine. Cole didn't offer me a dog sitting gig because I asked for it. He offered it because we've been mates for over 10 years, and he knows I'm solid. Stephen didn't offer me site surveys because I pitched him. He offered it because we reconnected in Mexico and he saw that I was building something real. And then Mick didn't offer me the trading gig because I had a great resume. He offered it because he liked who I am, my outlook, my faith, just my overall aura and energy. You see, that's how it works. You're not collecting contacts, you're building real relationships. And that takes time. It takes being genuine. It takes showing up as yourself. You see, the trap that I see everywhere is men are waiting for someone to invite them out, waiting for someone to text them first, waiting for the right opportunity to just present itself. But unfortunately, that's not how it works. You see, the guys that win, they don't wait for invitations. They just create them. They just walk up to someone and say, "Hey man, nice watch. Where'd you get that?" They text a mate that they haven't spoken to in 10 years and say, "My guy, how have you been? How's things? Hope life's treating you well." You see, they don't overthink it. They just do it. And most of the time, nothing happens. It's just a conversation. But sometimes, that one conversation changes everything. And look, I get it. It's easier to stay comfortable. So much easier to keep the job that you hate because it pays the bills, to stick with the friend group that doesn't really build you up because at least it's familiar. But I didn't burn everything down. I didn't quit it all and bet on myself in some reckless way. I just said yes to opportunities that my ego wanted to say no to. Dog sitting, my pride was My pride said it was beneath me, but I humbled myself. Site surveys, zero training, thrown in the deep end, but I trusted God. Trading opportunity, I had no clue it was coming, but I stayed connected. And that's the difference. See, I'm not burning bridges, I'm building them. But I'm also not staying comfortable. You see, I'm betting on myself and I'm trusting God that He's got me. He's in my corner, He's got my back. Because He doesn't bless your comfort, He blesses your obedience. So this week, just stop waiting. Just talk to someone. Reach out to a friend that you haven't talked to in years. Maybe start a conversation with a stranger at the gym. Compliment someone and just see where it goes. You don't need a strategy. You don't need a script. You just need to be genuine. Because you never know. That one conversation could change everything. It did for me 3 times. Anyways, links in the description. Take the test, 2 minutes. Let's see what rebuild you're currently going through. And let's get you the first steps to get you there. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.